Quick eye look. I just want to go over basic eyeshadow application. I'm going to do one eye in liquid because that's very, very simple. If you're new to eyeshadow, or you're coming back to eyeshadow for the first time, or you've been using eyeshadow without really knowing what you're doing or feeling like you're knowing what you're doing, you're just making it up as you go along. Don't worry, you're not alone. So many people feel that way. I think we assume everybody knows how to use stuff, and that doesn't mean that they do. They don't. So I was going to do liquid eyeshadow just because it's so simple and so quick for all you ladies that want something simple. And Giggly is the shade that sells the most for me. Giggly and Reverent and Businesslike sell the most for me. Giggly is a matte, so I'm choosing the matte one. And let's do it on this side. You just use the applicator. If you can use lip gloss, you can use this stuff. I promise. So I'm just, how far do you come up? Okay, well, you want it to peek up over your crease, but not go all the way to your brow bone. Okay? And put a line at the end. Okay, you don't want it up your inner eye. So stick to that eye line, then come up. Super simple. You can take a brush and feather it out, or you can just take your finger and blend that line out. Because it is a liquid, it will leave a line if you don't blend it. Okay? There you go. There's your eyeshadow for the day. How cool is that? This is also good for cheeks and lips. Just saying. Just saying. Okay, so you have several options when it comes to eyeshadow. We still have palette 6 available, which I'm going to use today just because it's available and it's glorious and everything matches and you don't have to worry about it. So palette 6 is here to here. Now I took it out of the case that it's going to be in. This is palette 1, this is palette 2, this is a duet palette we sold once, this is palette 3, this is palette 6, and I need to add my palette 4 in here as well. So you get all of these colors, but I'm just going to stick to these basic browns, maybe just these 3. Let's just use these 3, and I'll show you how you could use that pop of color. Just basic eyeshadow application, okay? So I'm going to take a blending brush. You can take a fluffy crease brush, you can take a blending brush, depending on the size of your eyes, depending on your comfort level. I use a blending brush now because this was not going up high enough on my eye, and it just needed to go up higher on my eye. Just took the confidence to get there. So what I'm going to do is take that medium brown, and this is called our transition shade. Okay, this right here. This is called a transition shade. This is just going to lay down the beginnings of the depth to your eye, the shadow that should be there, the crease that should be there. Okay, you just do circles and rainbows. And I didn't even use eye primer. Oh my gosh, sorry, I didn't even bring it in here. It would show up much better if I had used eye primer, but you'll get the gist. I didn't need eye primer here because eye primer is built into it, and this is waterproof, by the way. Just let you know that. Just gonna keep on going, circles and rainbows. Now I'm going to do this for just a second, even though I hate it. I'm tired of, I hate it. I don't want to keep doing that. Okay, so most people need it to go up higher on the brow bone than you're accustomed to. I'm just going to tell you that right now. It takes, you're just going to have to go up higher. If you're not comfortable with that, that's okay. We'll work up to it. Okay, just circles on the end and rainbows. Okay, your different eye shapes. This is just a good yes, there's different techniques for different eye shapes. This is just a good, solid, simple way for every eye shape to do their makeup. It's going to work for everybody. Is it going to be the best for your eye shape? If you have hooded eyes, it will work. There are techniques that you can use to do better. Hooded eyes are this, where this comes over and covers most of your lid. That would be a hooded eye. There are techniques you can do to overcome that and help open up your eye. We're just talking basic eyeshadow application right now. that medium brown. Okay. Starts in the crease, circles, and rainbows, and get it to come up on your brow bone. And it's probably going to be higher than you're accustomed to. That's okay. That's okay. You just play and you'll gain confidence from playing. And I'm using it totally wrong. I'm using it like I'm coloring. I need to be holding it out here so that it feathers out nicely. You don't want to color with your brushes. I'm having this, because the palette is in here and it doesn't have any space in the colors, I have to squeeze this together and it makes me forget to back up. When your palette, if you get this palette, there's space in between, you won't need to do this and squeeze your brush to get your color. It'll fit just fine. But if I didn't do that, I would have the other colors on there. Okay, there we go. Let's do a quick highlight with this pink. It's barely pink. It's an ivory that leans toward pink. It's barely pink. It's really pretty. It's a great highlight color. If you don't have our Grand Concealer and you have dark areas, this is matte. You can also put it here to brighten the inner eye. I have blueness there because the skin is just very thin right there. Okay. You want your highlighter to be from the arch where your brow arches over. Okay. And then I use it here to brighten the inner eye. Very simple, yes? Very simple so far. Okay, so you can, let's go ahead and use it. We're going to go ahead and use that again because I think the glitter might scare some people. Let's not scare people yet. And I forgot to bring that brush in here, so we're just going to use the angled sponge brush. I forgot to get that brush out. The brush I really wanted, that I prefer to do my lid. So I'm just going to put it on my lid. I'm keeping my eye open so I can tell where my lid ends. Make sense? So I get it all over the lid. Don't forget close to your eye, lashes, your lash line. See, this is not scary at all. This is easy peasy. Okay, there you go. See, when you put a lighter color there, do you see how much brighter this eye looks? You don't have to do that every time. Just wanted to point that out. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to go back to my blending brush and I'm going to blend that edge out. Get a little more on and blend that edge out. You always want to blend your colors together. Okay? You could be done. You could be done. 2 colors and you could be done. But I'm going to show you more. Okay, I want you to see what happens. People are afraid of dark colors, like this one and this one. But I want you to see what happens when you use a dark color. I'm going to use brown, because again, sorry y'all, dry mouth. Most people are afraid of dark colors, but most people are comfortable with brown. Browns and grays seem to be okay with everybody. I'm going to take a crease brush. This is densely packed, so it stays in a small area. And I'm going to go in that dark brown, and I'm going to make a line here. Okay? A line here. Do you see how I'm coming just up a little bit right there? And then I'm going to make a line here. Now, some people call this a V. Some people call it an L or a 7. Depends on how far you want to take it over. Now look what happened. Do you see how my eye lifted? Because of that dark color. Isn't that amazing? It's smoke and mirrors, folks. It's all smoke and mirrors. What you did was give the person looking at you a visual stop point. And that visual stop point, because I went to here, is up. Isn't that so cool? It's so cool what you can do. I am not a makeup artist, believe me, but I've learned a few things. And once you see what happens with that dark, it's very hard to not put that on every time. Go back to your blending brush. And lightly go over that. Blend those shadows together. Okay, there you go. You can be done with your eyeshadow now, if you wanted to be. Now, let's say you got brave. Let's take this out because it looks ridiculous. Let's say you got brave. Whew. And you wanted to use this glitter. I'm going to use this one because, again, a lot of people are going to. This one's super sparkly. It's going to turn off a lot of people, but most people might try this, okay? We're going to take that. I'm going to take my sponge brush again, the other side, and I'm going to keep it right on the lid. Right on the lid. So I keep my eye open. Again, these colors would pop better had I remembered to bring my primer, but I didn't. I'm not going all the way over because I've already done the dark there, but I am going to take it to there so I can blend the two together. Leaving your eye open, keep it right on the lid. Now see, that's not crazy. That's not crazy at all. But look how pretty it is. Matte. A little shiny, admittedly, because it's a liquid, but still it's a matte. And glitter. But do you see how much more this eye pops because of that glitter? So pretty. So, so pretty. Okay, so we used some glitter on our lid. Let's darken, go back to the dark and buff that up just a little bit. Add a little more. And we always, always blend those colors together. The great thing about the palettes is that everything is coordinated. You could pick any of those 7 colors and put them on and they would all work because they're all color coordinated. It's all done for you. So it's really easy to play and experiment because you don't have to worry about whether the colors go together. They do. You can also get a quad palette and fill it with 4 shades of your choice, and I can help you pick those shades if you would like to do that. All right, I forgot to bring any eyeliner in here. I just forgot. I plain forgot. So let's do this. Let's take the crease brush in that dark brown and just dust it along the lash line. And I'm going to need my little mirror for this. I'm not really trying to make a line, I'm just kind of brushing into the lash line. And I'm seeing where I missed some spots. So it's using the phone instead of a mirror. Okay, but do you see how I'm creating just a little bit of a line? Along that lash line. Okay, there you go. I'm not going to go into putting a liner on the bottom and all that. That's if you want to do that, you can. Well, let's just do a little bit since I'm doing powder liner anyway. I don't take it all the way over because it tends to close off your eye because the 2 lines meet. Just dusting it along that lash line. Okay.